The towering peaks of the mountains west of Calgary have stood for millions of years, silently witnessing the passage of time. They have seen the land transform, watched as ancient creatures roamed, and later as humans made their way through rugged valleys and vast plains. These mountains are not just a breathtaking backdrop to the city, but a testament to the geological forces, indigenous traditions, and historical events that have shaped the region. Long before the arrival of European explorers, these peaks were home to indigenous peoples who revered them as sacred spaces. The Blackfoot, Stoney Nakoda, and Sultana nations lived in harmony with the land, relying on its resources for survival. They crafted stories about the mountains, embedding them deeply into their culture, and passing down knowledge that preserved the natural balance. The mountains provided shelter, food, and spiritual guidance, forming an essential part of their existence. Geologically, these mountains are among the oldest in North America. Their formation began hundreds of millions of years ago, when tectonic plates shifted, forcing ancient seabeds upwards to create the rugged peaks we see today. Over time, glaciers sculpted their sharp ridges and deep valleys, leaving behind a landscape of breathtaking beauty. The fossils found in these rocks tell stories of a time when the land was covered by a vast inland sea, teeming with prehistoric marine life. When European explorers arrived in the 18th and 19th centuries, they were in awe of the towering summits. Early fur traders and surveyors mapped the region, recognizing its potential for trade and settlement. The construction of the Canadian Pacific Railway in the late 19th century further opened access to the mountains, leading to the establishment of Banff National Park, the first of its kind in Canada. This marked the beginning of a new era where tourism, conservation, and recreation would become key aspects of the region's identity. As Calgary grew into a thriving metropolis, its connection to the mountains only deepened. The Canadian Rockies became a symbol of adventure, drawing climbers, hikers, and nature enthusiasts from around the world. The creation of national parks and protected areas ensured that these landscapes remained pristine, preserving their beauty for generations to come. Today, the mountains near Calgary continue to inspire, offering an escape into nature and a reminder of the forces that shaped both the land and the people who call it home. The history of Calgary's mountains is one of resilience, transformation, and reverence. From the deep past of shifting tectonic plates to the footsteps of indigenous peoples, from the ambitions of explorers to the modern-day conservation efforts, these peaks stand as guardians of time, watching over a land that has been shaped by nature and human hands alike. And so, their story continues, written in the rocks, the rivers, and the memories of those who gaze up in wonder at their majestic forms. Beyond their geological significance and cultural heritage, Calgary's mountains have played a crucial role in shaping the region's economy. The discovery of rich mineral deposits led to the growth of the mining industry, with coal extraction becoming particularly important in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Towns like Canmore and Crowsnest Pass emerged as mining hubs, their economies thriving on the demand for fuel to power the growing nation. Though many mines have since closed, their legacy remains in the communities that still exist today. The mountains also serve as a vital water source, feeding the rivers that sustain Calgary and surrounding areas. The Bow and Elbow rivers originate in the Rockies, carrying fresh glacial meltwater that supports agriculture, industry, and daily life. Conservation efforts have been critical in ensuring that these water sources remain clean and abundant, particularly in the face of climate change and increasing human activity. Tourism has become one of the defining industries of the region, with millions of visitors flocking to the mountains each year. The development of ski resorts, hiking trails, and wildlife viewing areas has made the Canadian Rockies a global destination. Banff, Lake Louise, and Jasper attract adventurers and leisure travelers alike, offering everything from extreme mountaineering to serene hot springs. The balance between tourism and conservation remains a delicate one, as efforts continue to protect the fragile ecosystems while allowing people to experience the beauty of the landscape. Wildlife is another essential part of the mountains story. The region is home to diverse species, including grizzly bears, elk, bighorn sheep, and mountain goats. Efforts to protect these animals and their habitats have led to significant conservation initiatives, including wildlife corridors and national park protections. The presence of these creatures serves as a reminder that the mountains are not just a playground for humans, but a thriving ecosystem that must be preserved. As the world changes, so too do the challenges facing Calgary's mountains. Climate change has led to rising temperatures, impacting glaciers, wildlife, and weather patterns. Wildfires have become more frequent, altering landscapes and ecosystems. Despite these challenges, efforts to combat environmental threats continue through reforestation projects, climate research, and sustainable tourism practices. Looking ahead, the mountains will remain an integral part of Calgary's identity. Whether as a source of inspiration, adventure, or reflection, their towering peaks will continue to watch over the land, whispering the stories of the past to those who are willing to listen. The history of these mountains is not just one of rock and ice, but of people, perseverance, and the unbreakable connection between humanity and nature.